If you're unable to do so, or you're unwilling to raise campaign, use that feature. You can go straight to apply for loan, which will be assessed, and then if approved, we'll pay directly to school, and then, or in some cases, we'll pay to your account to support you for living expenses. For now, we currently support Nigerian students. The plan is to also support as many African students as possible in the nearest future. But for now, we are supporting Nigerian students studying in the UK and then of recent in the EU. Students who have gained admission to this field. So if you are already in the a UK university or any university in the EU and you are finding it difficult to, excuse me, complete your tuition, and then or you need support in terms of living expenses, we are able to support you in that regards. In some cases, we also support students who have gained admission and now need pay their deposits and then need further support in terms of paying their enrollment fees. And in some cases, we also help students with tuition deposits. Like I've always mentioned, this each case is not, we don't apply the same in terms of requirements for everyone, right? We treat each case on an individual basis, look at your condition, your situation, and then, if possible, render assistance where we can. And so, no matter your situation, as long as it's that you are studying you want to study in either UK or the EU, and whether you have gained admission or you are already there, or you are still planning to, or you just got admitted and you need support, the best, just reach out to us. We'll look at your case and then offer solution. Basically, I know that the number of people who have applied who we have supported in the past have not really used the campaign option. But I feel that I believe that you can take advantage of that, especially if you don't have any financial resources at all and you have gained admission, right? You can take advantage of that feature to raise campaign first. The campaign can either be public or private. If you have the network to raise the funds from different people and what they have or what they are not so sure whether you have gained admission or not, but you feel that a platform like us can help you raise that, will definitely support you in that regard. And if you want to make it public as well, what we do is to help you publicize on our social media platforms and then talk to people within our network to support. And then whatever you raise, you don't get charged on that. Basically, you the only fee that you get charged is original fee, which is 2% of whatever you have raised on the platform, and then whatever you have raised will be used to pay for your tuition. We'll pay directly to the school, and whatever is left over will go towards your living expenses. We support mostly postgraduate students. So if you are doing a master's program in these countries, we'll support you. And in some cases, we also support individual. We support undergraduate students. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's not one size fits all, right? What we do is look at your case, and then depending on how comfortable, how well we are able to assess your situation, we are able to support in whatever shape or form. So going to the student loan itself, we are able to loan you up to $15,000, and the repayment plan is basically between 12 and 48 months. The thinking is that within that period, you're able to also find employment and then start paying something, no matter how little, towards reducing your obligation to EJ. Depending on your situation, we can also apply moratorium. By moratorium, we mean that a period where you don't have to pay anything until after, once the moratorium expires, we start paying both the principal and interest. And in some cases, we ask you, okay, you know what, just service the interest alone, or you pay the interest up front, and then over the next couple of months, you are allowed to settle down, and then start repayment. Right now, the interest rate is about 2.5% per month, and then the fees are basically the original fees, which we charge 2% at the beginning. There's also another fee, which is maintenance fee, which we charge after 12 months. So for every year that the loan states or anywhere that the loan is still existing, you get charged 1% management fee. And then we charge insurance fee of 0.6%. And then depending on which country you are going to, and depending on the situation of the country, that the bank charges that will be also apply in such situations. So we disburse actually to schools, and then living expenses would disburse to the students. And for the requirements, basically, is we take your personal data. We ensure that that is verified and complete. We look at your education data, where you've studied, where you also want to study, and then also your financial data in terms of how you have performed in the past in terms of loans that you have either collected or paid. And so that's also a critical factor. There are other factors that we also look at before we give you loans, but then these are basic requirements that we usually collect. And then all of this information are on the website. Feel free to you just visit and then look at it. And if you have any questions, you can send us an email, reach us on WhatsApp on this line, and then we have someone that will definitely pick up your response to you and then give you whatever information that you need. Thank you so much. We have other speakers that will join, and then I believe that question and answers will come after. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Temitope. Really appreciate that. So next person that will be coming up to speak. Before that, please, like I mentioned earlier, when you have your questions, please put it in the chat box so that we can answer when the time is right. So I've invited the next person to speak. His name is Baba Femi, and he's going to be talking to us about managing your finances as an international student. Thank you for joining us, Baba Femi.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know where you're joining from. Can you hear me clearly, please?
Yes, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Baba Femi Odugbesan. Sorry, my name is showing Femi Deputy Manager. This is my official account, but let's go on with the distance. So today I'm going to be talking about studying in the UK. So like I said, I'm Baba Femi. I did my master's here in United Kingdom, University of Northampton, and I came in 2022 June. So I'm going to just talk about few things about how it is to manage your loan. So coming into the UK, I had a lot of debt. I'll be very sincere. Every penny that brought me into this country was on debt because I'd exhausted too many money attempting other countries, and we understand how it is when we get rejected. So coming in, I came in with a lot of debt. My school fees, when I was coming, I had to put it up so that I can get the exact figure. When I was coming, it was about £12,600. And before I left Nigeria, I was able to raise £5,000, which was one of the criteria I needed then to be able to get my certificate of acceptance of study. And then I had to prove that I had the remaining 7,600 plus my living expenses in an account, which we know how proof of funds works, and I was able to achieve that. So the ultimatum Northampton gave me, which I always try to tell people, is when you're applying for schools, always look at the repayment plans. A lot of universities here in the UK have different repayment plans and the months and how you must meet up to them. So you need to look for which one is affordable or which one you seem deems fit to be able to pay back. So my school then gave me the ultimatum to pay 3,008 as at August, sorry, 08, I don't know what it is, and then the remaining 3,008 at November. So I had outstanding of 7,600 coming in. Now, I don't know if my slides can be shared, sorry, but while that, so the first thing I need to do is before you leave the country, having known what your debt is, you need to just like get a sheet of paper and try to write out what you're owing, because knowing what you're owing and what it is you have to pay back is the kind of push you need. It's the motivation. Sometimes I tell people the suffering in Nigeria is enough. The standard of how you're living is enough push, but then you need to jot down everything you're doing. So I need to pay this back, I need to do that. Sorry, Adimola cannot hear me. You can check your system. I guess every other person can hear me. You need to write it down and understand it. So first thing is you need to know what expected cost of your tuition is. Like I said, I wrote mine down and I understood it. Also, another important thing coming here is you have rent. Your rent is what you pay monthly. I don't know if you've been told in UK, yeah, you pay your rent monthly. So if you're fortunate enough to get school accommodation, you might be supported to pay for like a whole semester or what have you. But then it's cheaper getting in the hostel. So I feel you don't need the luxury yet. Get the cheaper rent you can get. You make your research. A lot of all these things are online. And when you're coming in as an international student, you're given platforms for different things to be able to join communities. You have student reps that can help you do all this. And surely there will be accommodation preference for international students coming to the UK. Also, regarding food and transport, you need to understand what you're going to be eating. A lot of people will come into to the UK and they say they want to eat eba, mala, all those kind of things. Sorry, I'm Yoruba if I'm going to be using that example. And sincerely, you can eat it, but it's quite expensive to get the raw materials or food items. Hence the reason why if you have friends and family traveling abroad, they always check their box. They have a lot. So I can encourage you to come with as much as you can. When I came into this country for a while was when I knew that bread was sweet because bread was cheap to get and it was sweet for every meal. So I was a lover of bread. Indomie was like jollof rice to me. But the thing is, you just have to live by the day. So personal expenses. A lot of people come in and they want to be living large. You want to be wearing the Gucci's, the Amandas, the Fendis. But what I'll tell you is try your best to cut all this. So, like I said, understand your node, know how the repayment plan is, know how your interest is. For example, with EJ, he has actually given you a breakdown of what the interest rate is. So if you're writing down your cost of what you need to be paying back, remember not to forget about the interest rate. If it's monthly, if it is yearly, calculate it and see it. So if you give yourself the target of 2 years, you know what the interest rate is going to be every month and what you're going to pay back at the end of the year. So what I can say is try your best to see if you can pay as much as you can. So once you come in, job is quite I'll be very sincere with you, it's quite difficult to get because of visa restrictions and you can only work 20 hours. But if I did it, you can do it. Yes, sorry. Yes. Back one more slide, sorry. Yes, so like I said, understand your loan, know what the repayment plan is. So a lot of people come in when I came in to the UK, then we had this thing called Form A. I don't know if it's still working now. But we had something called Form A, which was the bank helping you pay directly to the school at a cheaper rate, which is cheaper than the black market if you had it. So it was a lot of business then. People will make, for example, £500, send it back to Nigeria, then use the Form A to send at about £600 into the school. So a lot of things were going on that way, but it's no longer possible since this present administration came in. So I would say even then when it was happening, I wasn't doing that because I felt the cash in hand is better than what I'm going to be risking to send back home and come, because factoring the risk of currency, anything can happen to banks, and Nigerian banks are interesting. Sometimes they tell you there's no network, there's something wrong with something's left leg, and sorry, I'm going to be very sincere at a point. I'm not always known to be too professional. I try to joke around sometimes, so mind my words. Also, I'll tell you to look for scholarship. Scholarship programs happen from outside the country or within the country, so you can apply as much as you can. But please, for the UK, there's something called public funds, which every international student does not have access to. So if you're making applications or you're doing things, remember to specify the kind of visa you're on so you do not shoot yourself in the leg. Because at the end of the day, when you need to, I'll talk about that later, there's something called post-study. So when you're done with your studies, you can wait back and get post-study. If you've breached some laws over your span of your study year, you tend to be able to lose that. So Yes, you can Google it. Many of these things I'm going to be discussing. Please feel free to take some notes, go online and research about it. I may not give you too much information because of time. I guess I was given 15 minutes. So to the next slide, please. Um, so by the time you're going to start working in the UK, yes, while you're studying, like I said earlier, the official rules, you can only work 20 hours per week. Now, 20 hours per week, it's enough if you understand what you're doing. But the thing is, what kind of jobs can you get? So what I tell people is get what you can get. A lot of people say, I cannot wash bomb bomb, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. It's called care. Just do what you can. Hospitality, I see some people wash plate. I see some people do a lot of retails. So like I put it here, some campus offer you some volunteer programs that you can do. A lot of things can happen and all. Please, again, when you are in school, ask questions with people that you've met in the system. You do not know who can help you. I've seen a lot of people make friends in church. I've seen a lot of people make friends from school gatherings, and trust me, you'll be surprised at the amount of information people get and they can do. To do that and to work in the UK here, which is where I'm actually staying, you need to apply for something called National Insurance Number, which fortunately for us in Nigeria, we also have. It's called the NI number. So it's like a unique code, or I'll call it a social security code unique to every person. So with this, you're eligible to work anywhere. And it's also going to be there that you're a student. Now, another thing again about working, if you see what, like it said, during term. So once you're on break, like the first semester to the second semester break, you can do as much hours as you can. But I'll tell you, please relax with it so you not overwork yourself. Because by the time you're starting school, it's going to be a lot of burden, and your health wise might not do it. But trust me, I didn't listen. I did more than I could chew when it was the break, and I was able to cover up a lot of debt I had. So as I was paying debt back home in Nigeria, I was also paying my school fees, and I was doing it in bits. So that's another thing in Europe here, in UK here, you can pay your fees in bits as long as you're paying and they're saying you pay it. It's enough proof that you're going to do it according to what the first speaker said. So to the next slide, saving money, which is like a really important thing. You have to try your best to cut costs at every instance you can get. So I tell people, don't be too flamboyant with things. So I'll start with student discount. There's something called Uni Days Totem. There are a lot of websites that give coupon codes. It's called codes. There are a lot of websites that they need you to register with your school email address to validate that you're actually a student. And trust me, with the discounts you will get, you'll be surprised at what you'll be getting. So something you should be paying £20 for over the counter with your uni days, your ID card, and the app, you'll be paying as low as £10, £8 because you're a student. Trust me, it's a lot. I remember when I was in school and I get hungry and I'm always on the road, I eat McDonald's. So there was this day I was on the bus and I saw that the newspaper, which was free in the bus, actually has some coupon codes that could actually give me some McDonald's at a ridiculous price. Trust me. I started giving out, let me not sell, let me really sell. I started giving out newspapers that were free to my fellow colleagues. And it was fun. And as low as £1, you get a full meal from McDonald's. And trust me, if you've eaten McDonald's before, it's enough meal that can last you for a day. It's like you're drinking Gary. Also, you have to cook at home. Cooking at home, like I said, mix this, mix that. I don't know how it is. I came in alone before I brought my wife later, so I can mix and mix. I don't know if that's the word to use. You can see me put Indomie, you can see me cook village rice, or you can see me cook concussion rice. Trust me, as long as there's little pepper, palm oil, and it tastes good, I'm fine. Lots of gari. Like I said earlier, bread is sweet. I did not know it was sweet till I got to the UK. Bread can go with anything, tea, coke, Fanta, water, and I'm fine. Also use budgeting apps. Yes, there are some budgeting apps like Revolut and Monzo. So they are online banks that doesn't have a physical store here in the UK, but they are so blessed enough to have budgeting. So you can sign up for different programs with them and they will teach you how to budget. Also, instead of taking bus just walk. I don't know if you've noticed a lot of people in the UK when they come around, they're always wearing shoes. It's not like they like shoes, but it's just the fact that in Europe we can walk a lot. In Europe also there's bicycle. Try and use it. If you don't know how to ride bicycle, use it. I was taking the bus fares. That's why if you check online, you'll be seeing a lot of people always at the bus stop because it's cheaper to get the bus. Even if you're a student, you get lots of discounts and all those kind of things. Also regarding clothes, because people like to dress good and look nice, and we call it packaging. But please, you can do a lot of cheap things. There's something here called Primark. Primark here, when they bring it back, it was always looking like a big deal. But when I came here, I discovered it was cheap clothes, packaged well. There are a lot of second-hand products in Nigeria. We go to Lagos Okrika Market, Aswani Market, and we pick them and we dress nice. And if you can do that, it's just to get by the day. The thing about UK, I don't know about other European countries because I've not been to most of them. A lot of people do not understand you. They don't even know see you. I don't even know my neighbors for years. So you dressing and wearing this kind of designer clothes, for now, it's not needed because you have your loans you're paying. And again, another thing I did was I was writing my loans and I was putting it on my mirror. So I was always waking up to see my debt. So I wake up in the morning and I say like, oh, Femi, you are broke. Oh, Femi, you are rich, but you have to pay this. So it's always there. I put the reminder there, and the next question or the next time Titi will call me to ask for her money, I have to be able to at least give her something to be able to say thank you for borrowing me this loan. But this time around, the EJ funds will do that. And I don't know if they will call you, but please try not to make them call you. Pay your loans as you can. Sorry, to the next slide. So after graduation, it's a lot of process. Like I said, there's something called the graduate route visa, which is called post-study, which gives you 2 years to 3 years to work. Now it's changed because of the new law. It's now 18 months in the UK. So it means that once you're done with school, you have 18 months to work and still remain in the UK. So I feel it's more than enough for you. If you've studied for a year or two and you understand the system, you can be able to beat the system and make yourself make sense. And a year and a half would is more than enough. I'm trying my best not to say how long it took me to repay all my loans so that I will not make you run the race you're not meant to run. But trust me, it was hell of a hustle. I can remember going on trains and crying in the cold, but then we thank God. So plan your career early. So while you're studying, please pick up as much work or whatever job you see, because if you're selective of career path at that point, you might miss it because you do not have a certificate of the UK to be able to land you the big jobs, or you're looking at someone that your friend that had been in 2-3 years earlier and you want to be like them. Because I have a lot of people say, I want to be an accountant, I want to be. It's not like that. If it's warehouse job, do something because every penny counts. And the sweet thing about Europe, I don't know how it is about UK, I don't know how it is in Europe, is there's something called minimum wage, which is per hour, and it's cut across every kind of profession. So with the minimum wage, you're sure that even as I am a security officer, for example, someone that is in the office will be making something close to it. May not necessarily be that same price, but at least it's something close. So with enough budget, you'll be able to get all that. So create your repayments plan, like I said, draft it down, look at the interest rate, and follow up everything. Sorry, to the next slide. So after all that, yes, while you're studying, try to also understand. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes more. Try to go online and be checking the updates. So visa restrictions comes in every now and then in the UK. It happens almost every April. So if you're gonna get post study, you need to pay some other insurance charges, which is like £1,000. So you need to plan for it. So that is another budget coming forward in front. Sorry, to the next slide. Let me just run through what I can do. All this, I don't know if this can be shared later, just in case you have this. Let me give you time for questions. While you're in school, please ensure, next slide, please ensure you register for internships. So try and build your career, build your portfolio. In the UK here, we have something called LinkedIn, which everyone has. Try and build your LinkedIn profile to make it sound nice with the little work you're doing. So even if you're a security officer, make it sound positive for the next kind of job you're doing, because no knowledge is wasted here. In school, there are internship programs which you can take during the holidays. Try and do it. Lots of certification comes in. So, for example, while I was studying, I knew I was going to go into the health sector, which is what I'm doing. So I did a lot of certifications and courses that actually brought me to where I am. And while I was working, I was able to show my employers that I really have the zeal for it. But trust me, I was after the money. But then with all that, I was able to lift up myself to where I am today. And I hope that's more than enough. The final slide, I don't know if that's it. While you're studying, please have something called emergency fund. So that emergency fund is like savings. That one is I don't know how to explain it, but it's just in case you eat someone selling egg, you have money to be able to pay. That's the practical way to say it. Understand your payment. So in the UK here, when you're making money, there's something called tax. The more you make, the more your percentage of tax comes. That's why we see us say we are doing shift, we are doing shift. The more work we are doing, the more the government will take it off because it is by law. So study it, know the threshold you can meet. So I have people that work out, I mustn't do more than 3 shifts a week so I can make more because I've planned that 3 shifts. I mustn't do more than 4 shifts to do it. Like I know some people that can do two, three, 4 jobs and then they don't mind the stress, but they're making a little and it's cutting off. And also, I said it earlier, seek help from school. A lot of people who have been there before, Africans are there. Talk to them and they'll be able to put you through. I guess that's it. I guess my time. So I'll step back now in case you have any question for me, or I don't know what the next plan is. Thank you very much. I hope I was able to touch points.
All right, thank you so much, Bafemi. For questions, like we said, it's after all the sessions. That's when we'll be having all the questions. So thank you so much. Next on the line is Dr. Ogbodu, and he'll be talking to us about the strategies for consistent loan repayments. So please welcome him as it starts.
Good evening, everyone. I hope we can hear me clearly. Please, if you can shoot the slides. Okay, so I'm Dr. Obudu. I live in the UK. Um, I have used EJ loan before, and I have been consistently paying. So I am not speaking as
Echo on your end.
so.
Echoing. Yes.
Okay, just 1 second. Is this the echoing?
It's fine now. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not speaking from a very far place. I'm someone who has gone through it, so I know how it is very well. So, coincidentally, the previous speaker has touched on some of the things that I was going to touch on, but I hope I go into more details. And I want to thank EJ Fund for making funding very available to Nigerian students and in the future African students. So please, I have a lot to say. I hope my 15 minutes starts in the next 5 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to mention is when I was making these slides, I tried to get a framework that cuts across essentially what you earn and what you spend. So if you can maximize what you earn and limit what you spend, then you'll be able to have enough funds to go through your loan payments and other essentials. So what I've tried to do is to build my discussion around the first two parts of the framework, which I have called needs framework. So the N is for the your net earning maximization. The E is for effective leverage of retrievable and available funds. I don't know why the third one is not showing, but that's for um, active commitment to loan repayments. Then the other one is time-based patience and planning. Please, if you can go to the next slide. So like I said, the first two ones covers the bulk of the discussion. So this is the first one. I feel maximizing your earnings starts from even Nigeria. So if you do your visa on time, usually the UKVI will give you a visa that starts 1 month before your resumption, and that is very key. If you can come in 1 month before your resumption, it helps a lot because that first 1 month is unlimited. You are not restricted to any 20 hours. You can quickly settle. You can quickly do your all your documentation, and because if you don't have your documentation right, you cannot get a job, you cannot get a place to rent, you cannot get a right to work. So many of the things you do are tied to your early settlement and even your documentation. So I will also touch on the food stock. Some people travel to the UK coming with a lot of clothes. That's rubbish. You just need to come with very few because eventually you are going to change all the clothes. So your first 223 kg should be for food stock only. Then you can have your 10 kg for your clothes and personal items. Then you can also have your hand luggage. Then you can start your job early, have lean transportation costs, affordable shopping, and responsible subscription. With all of these approaches, I'm very sure you'll be able to maximize your earning and also limit your spending. So I'll go into one of them each after the other. So the first one is early arrival, documentation, and settlement. So like I said, process your visa early enough, come in 1 month before resumption, arrange for a cheap accommodation. The other guy has talked about it. Cheap accommodation could mean you sharing apartments. It could be you staying in student apartments. It could be even staying with relatives. Then within the first 1 and 2 weeks, please get your e-visa, get your right to work, get your right to rent, get your national insurance, and if you can do your basic DBS. The basic DBS is like a security profiling, like what you call police whatever in Nigeria. So get your bank accounts. Some employers will be very detailed. They want the traditional UK banks. That could be a challenge, but you can also do with the digital ones like the Monzos, the Revolut, and the Wise. Optimize your CV for different jobs. So what that means is do not be selective, do anything. Okay, so plan your work and your character references ahead. Then when you eventually have an enhanced DBS, which is like a very serious check on your security status, put it on update service. So you may not understand some of the things I'm saying now, but if you get all of these things right within the first 1 or 2 weeks, getting a job becomes very, very easy. I've seen people, they've gotten a job, but back and accounts was delaying them from starting. DBS was delaying them from starting. Tiny things like even references was delaying them from starting. And if you don't start on time, you are not earning on time. See the whole visa thing as a plan. You only your visa comes as 18 months. Anytime you lose, you've lost money. So if you can sort out all of this and start earning within the first 1 or 2 months, you are maximizing your earning already. Please, can we go to the next slide? Yeah, the next slide. So that would have been the food stuff I was talking about. I already mentioned it. Please use the first 23 kg for food stock. The African ones that are very expensive, the egusis, the all of those ingredients, the ladies know them better. Please get those ones as much as you can. Then the small 10 kg hand luggage, you can use that for your clothes and personal items. You can then use your backpack for documents and other items. This will guarantee you less spending on food, at least for the first few months. You are not spending on food. So any small thing you make, you can use it and channel it into paying your loan and even school fees if that will help. For accommodation, I've already mentioned it initially that you have to live with relatives. If you have, you can be selective. You can live in places where there are jobs. Unfortunately, some places have jobs more than others. So consider living in a place where there's job. There's good transport system in the UK, so you can always go to anywhere you want to go to. If the city is expensive, consider going to the suburb. I don't see any reason for staying in the London in London. I don't know why people live in London. So because it's so expensive, you can consider living in places beyond London, or if you are in a big city like Manchester or Birmingham and it's too expensive, you stay a little bit further away. Stay in student apartments. You can do joint renting if you know someone that's already renting. Join the person and you people share the bills, and that also will help limit your spending. So start your job very early. If you can complete the paperwork within the first 2 weeks and you have an optimized CV for different jobs, try to be flexible. Things like cleaning, steward job in the stadium, healthcare assistants, support work, all those jobs are very easy to get. Factory job, warehouse, they are all easy to get. So do not come and start saying I was a banker, I was a manager, I want to do this one, I want to do the UK. It's not like that. You can have PhD and go for a cleaning interview and you will fail it. So please come with an open mindset. The pay is almost at par for everyone, so you are going to earn as much as somebody working in those offices as well. Try to work on bank holidays. Bank holidays are the public holidays. They pay twice the amount that you are supposed to earn on those days, so don't miss out on those bank holidays. So the other speaker has also talked about it. Cycling is very important for your transport. Bus cards as a student, that minimizes your fare. Rail cards as well. You can also do group transportation. I know some guys. They work in the same place. They book taxi together. Four of them share the transport, and that reduces the cost. Avoid taxis as much as you can, except if it's very necessary. And if you do all this again will guarantee a very lean transportation cost for you. And as for the affordable shopping, try and do your grocery shop in the very cheap UK shops, the likes of Aldi, Lidl. Those ones are very cheap. You don't need to go to Waitrose or Tesco when you come in. You need to just minimize your expenses. There are also free food banks, thankfully, and it's the same foods. It's not a beggar food. These are charity food given by churches and charity organizations. Very free. You go, you pack as much as you can, and it's free. You are not paying anybody. You can use the open market. Many of the items are cheap. I usually tell people the cost of what you buy in the UK has nothing to do with the value. The value is not represented in the cost. You can see something worth £500 and you buy it at £2. So use the charity shops, use the open market. There are apps here you can get free items, even on the streets. You see these white people, they keep very good items on the road. They'll just tell you, they write on it, pick me. You can take it, you can have your plates, anything, chairs. Just think of it, TV, all of them in good working conditions. You can pick them from the streets. And they also have apps like Olio. You can also get things. People just put things there. You indicate interest and you go and pick it for free. If you want to buy designer materials, I know the other guy discouraged it. There's also a place where you can get very cheap one. Apps like Vinted or Vintage, I don't know what they call it, stands to be corrected. You can get designers things very cheap. Um, and again, if you do all this will guarantee that you are spending very less on shopping. Responsible subscriptions. Some people are so they are so glued to the Netflix, the Spotify, and all the Apples. Please, you can avoid all of those subscriptions at the beginning. You can just make do with what you see on YouTube or whatever that don't need subscriptions. You can do budget-friendly data subscription. You don't need to do unlimited or do 100 gig. You can be using 20 gig. Thankfully, in your school areas, you will have free network. In the buses, in the train stations, you will have free network. So utilize those ones. Pay as little as £5 to get your data monthly, and you don't have to spend much on subscriptions. So what I've just done is I've tried to fit everything into this framework, uh, whereby you try to maximize your earning and limit your expenses so that you can have something bulky for you to pay towards your loan. And this starts from even from Nigeria. And again, you have to be committed to repaying this loan. Let me tell you what some loan companies do. Some loan companies are in alliance with the visa office of each school. So if you fail to pay your loan, they report to the visa office, and the visa office can um, sort of take actions towards you. I don't know if they has gotten to that point at the moment, but you stand a risk of losing your visa. So be very committed to repaying. Then, in terms of patience, the other speaker has also talked about it. For now, you don't need to go to the Bonner Boy shows. You don't need to go to the Rema shows or Whiskey shows. You don't need to go and watch Arsenal or Manchester in the stadium. In fact, if you are doing steward job, you will watch them for free. Okay, so instead of paying £50 to go and watch Arsenal, keep that £50, save it towards your loan. Instead of going to watch Beyonce, I think Beyonce was around last 2 weeks. I don't know what I think 80 or £100. Save that money and pay for your loan. With time, you'll be able to afford all of those things. So be patient. There's no need to rush to. You want to build houses in Nigeria. You want to do investments. You want to do keep all of those things on the low for now. Take the first 2 years as a sacrifice, and I guarantee you'll be able to get all of those things. So to conclude, please maximize your earning. It starts from Nigeria by getting your visa early, come in with few things, come in with a lot of food, try to get a job quickly, get any job. Do not be selective. We do to you in the UK. Tinubu cannot do it. So that's all from me. Thank you so much, and God bless everyone.
Thank you very much for that, Doctor. Really appreciate that. So now we're going to the question and answer session, and we have some questions already. And like I said earlier, if you have more questions, please put it in the chat box so that we can respond to your questions. The first question is from Nurse Prep. She said, I have my admission offer. The deadline is on the 14th of July. Please, how can I get assistance to settle my tuition? I think Temitope, do you want to take that, please?
Sorry, the question is that the deadline is on the 14th of July.
That's in
What
2
is
days.
what is the deadline? What deadline?
Payments, I guess.
Sorry, can you read the question? Sorry, can you read it again? Sorry.
I have my admission offer. The deadline is on the 14th of July. Please, how can I get assistance to settle my tuition?
I'm thinking that the person is talking about their tuition deposits. That's one of the most difficult aspects. Basically, that yes, in some cases we found, but then it's the criteria for doing that is a bit on the high side. The requirement for having to do that is on a bit on the high side. So what I would advise at this point is still apply. Let's see, and then we can then see. What 14th of July is just 2 days, so I don't think it's still possible. So maybe what you can do is to defer the admission if that option is available for you, and then plan ahead, right, to either take the loan or raise campaign. Then we have enough time to get all of this done. There's no need to rush. If you cannot make it now, if you cannot make the deadline now, there is always, and I think most schools also allow people to defer the admission, right? If the options are available for you, please explore it and then come back to us and let's plan towards what is possible. Yeah, thank you.
All right, next question. Two people asked this actually, Efyong and Miriam. Is there a list of schools in the EU that you support? Asking especially about Malta.
Well, I don't think so. We are not. We don't have any schools that we don't support. Who we support, who we believe in, is you, right? Basically, your ability. So we look at everything about you, your financial situation, your personal situation, personal identity, and all of those things. Look at your academic performance in the past. A lot of those things are things that we look at. You can either take the loan or not. So still apply, and then we are not saying that you will get it, but then we are saying that EJ is an opportunity for you to see a way to pay for your tuition while you fulfill your dreams. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. What if one is able to pay off the loan within 5 months?
It's fine. It's fine. Although we will not structure it that way at the beginning, but then if you have the money, it's a good thing for us, and that you can then pay down in 5 months. That's fine. We can always do that. So it's possible. You can pay down in 5 months. Yeah.
Okay. Please, can you give an estimate on the cost of a bicycle in the UK? I think that's for the UK people.
All right.
Dr.
Okay, let me just answer that. So you can get bicycles free if you look in the streets. If you go to the open market, you can get £20, £50. You can also get bicycles of 2,000, £5,000. So it all depends on you. Most people will get for £50. And please permit me, I missed one slide, which is very, very important. And this is on how to leverage on how to retrieve some funds and available funds. So there's something called IHS that you paid for during your visa application. Now, this fund, you can claim it back if you work in the health sector. So it's just the criteria is just for you to work in the health sector and work at least 16 hours every week. So that's a good sort of retrieving that money back and channeling it into your loan. The other guy talked about student discounts, but there are lots of them. You can also get credit cards. Some of the credit cards can allow you 18 months before you start paying interest. They can give you as high as 1,000 and all of that. So you can also use that to at least for some of your expenses. Then what I've noticed, because I've supported a lot of students to the UK, I've noticed that that beginning time when they come in, they over deduct them in terms of tax. In fact, as a student, that's your first tax year, whether you're starting September or starting January, you are not supposed to be taxed at all. So any tax that you've been taxed, because I'm sure you cannot earn beyond the minimum wage. So any tax that you can only be taxed after earning past the minimum wage, which is 12,570. So anything that you were taxed as you come in, you can claim it back. So and the tax is in two forms. There's income tax, there's national insurance tax. So watch your taxes closes very closely. And sorry for overshooting. Back to the questions.
All right, thank you so much. Next question. Is it also compulsory I make a campaign before getting a loan?
It's not compulsory, right? But then the campaign is available for anybody that really wants to reduce the obligation, right? The campaign is free. And I know someone that recently funded that actually got almost 50% of their what's it called through campaign, right? And that person is in UK. I think one of these webinars will bring her to also talk to us. So you don't have to. I know a number of people shy away from it because you don't want people to know what you're doing and all of those things, right? But you try, please, anyone, please don't raise your hands. I see people raising their hands. Just type the questions that you want. Type it in the chat box and we'll get to it. The reason why we ask that so that we can manage the time effectively. Just type the question there. Some will get to it. So please, it's not like it's an option. Sorry, it's not like it's compulsory, right? But it's the step that you have to take before you get to the loan. If you don't want it, you just raise and close it, and then we'll look at you and the situation to say, you know what, yeah, you can take the loan or not take the loan. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. I already applied for the loan and we are waiting for my cars, but my school suddenly increased tuition. Will the loan still cater for the increase in tuition?
So please send an email to hello@ejfund.com. If let's just try and sort this out. If you have paid the deposits, right, then I think that we are in a good place. Okay, if you have cash, you have paid the share of deposit. I think we can help in that regard. So send an email to hello@ejfund.com. Someone will pick it up, and then I'm sure that hopefully all things being equal, we are able to assist. Yeah.
Okay, next question. What basis can an application be rejected if the guarantor's form have been sent to the guarantor under 24 hours?
Well, there are different reasons why your loan application will be rejected. One of the major reasons, and I keep telling people, is your financial data, right? It's two things, right? One is the financial data. If you have borrowed money in the past and you have not paid back, right? No matter the amount, we will not give you. You will not. Even if now that you are now applying, you have not paid it. Your history will show that at some point you're owing. And I've seen people, we've seen cases here where people borrow as low as 20,000 from PAMPay, OPay, all of these financial institutions, and they refuse to pay. It shows one thing, and the indication is that you would likely default, right? It's an indication of what you would do if there's nobody there's no repercussion for not for defaulting, right? So let's say what I mean by that is that if there's no way to find you, there's no if let's say you go abroad now and we have means to get everything that we need to find you, right? Not that we cannot, but we don't want even to get to that point where we start chasing each other and then start all of those and because you are in this country where they are more systemic in terms of all of these things, right? It's easier to get you, easier to try and make it to repay, right? But then we don't want to get to that. So if you have borrowed money in the past time and you've not paid back, right? Please don't even bother to apply because we will definitely reject your application. That is one. Number two is if you have not been working, right? If you cannot prove to us that you are working or you have some means of income right away, right, we will not fund you. So if you have been idle for the last 2 years, we cannot substantiate that you have some form of employment, whether you are running a business or you are working. No matter it doesn't matter the amount, right? Even if it's 50K that they are paying you, it shows some level of responsibility. I don't think there's anybody in this Nigeria today that, yes, the salary may not be enough, right? But then you will definitely find something to as a means of sustaining you, basically. So if you have not been working, then we'll definitely reject the application. Yeah, those are the two major things. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, Sprep, if you have more questions, please put it in the chat box. What are the criteria for the loan? What are the requirements?
No, I think you should try and apply, try and register all of those. I can't begin to list all of them. Try and go through the websites. You'll see the requirements. But then, like I said, your personal information will request for it, your employment information, your education, and then the way you are going to, and all of those things. So just go to the website, try and apply. The list of requirements will be sent to you, and then you can go through it. Yeah.
Okay. How long does the loan process take?
We try to do it within a week, and I think that the reason why it's even that long is because most people do not provide everything that we need all at once. So usually within a week, if everything is fine, I think within 3 days you can know whether we'll give you or not. But then maximum 7 days we can complete it. Yes.
Okay, but what if I borrowed from a commercial bank and I'm currently repaying? Will I still be granted a loan?
So that is yes and no, right? Depending on the situation. What you have shown is if you are repaying and it's performing very well, we know that, okay, yes, you have the character to say that you can take a loan and then repay. Yeah, so that's a plus. But then the other situation we gotta look at, okay, how much are you paying monthly? If you give it now, what would not be your monthly repayment and all of those things? Yeah, so But then still apply. I think it's at least we know that you have the character to repay. Yes.
Next question. What if I'm self-employed? I think this person
Yeah,
is
yes, yeah. I've answered that question. You, as long as you can substantiate that there's a self-employment and that you are earning something. Believe you me, we will know. That's what we do basically. We will know whether you are earning or you are not earning, right? So whether it's self-employment or whether it is employment with an organization, we will definitely know. There's a way to we get all of this information, right? So apply self-employed. Yes, you can apply.
all right. This is says, can one who has admission for a BSc course apply for the loan? I think this person
We yes. So we've actually focused on postgraduate, but we have a couple of students that we also undergraduates that we fund. Apply. Will set the I think in this regards you will now have to provide a second person to also help you that will be responsible for repayment as well, because that's a longer term, longer period. So for example, if you are, let's say most BScs in UK are 3-year courses, right? So if you're in your year one, if you're in your final year, you can't apply by yourself. That one is that one. But if you're in your first or second year, we will need to ask that your parents could sign with you, and then they're also responsible. Parents or guardian could sign with you, and they're also responsible for the payment. Yeah.
All right. I think I'll be taking the last question. He said, I have paid tuition deposits for Kelly University. Can I still get the loan to cover my remaining fee and living expenses?
So I'm not so sure I get that. He has paid what is
Tuition deposits, but he needs more loan to cover the remaining fees and living expenses.
yeah. So we'll do it in this way. So I think if that's a UK school, what you need next will be your enrollment fee. And then when people pay their deposit and they get to the school, they will ask them to pay enrollment fee. So that we can help you with. And then yes, we can also support with living expenses depending on the circumstance, right? Apply, but that is possible. So like I said at the beginning, it's not a one shoe. I don't know how do they say this now. It just ran off my head. It's not just it's not cast in stone, right? There are different scenarios, different possibilities. We look at each application and then determine to say, you know what, we can do this, we cannot do this. So we've had to fund someone for living expenses even before they leave. That situation is different, and we also rejected somebody for living expenses before they leave. So depending on your situation, depending on how comfortable we are with your application, we can consider it. Esther, please type your question. Sorry, moderator, please. We
Yes.
can, if there are still more questions, I think we can answer. Yes.
Okay. Another question says, in my case, I have a week to pay for my tuition after my visa to Malta is out for my master's. Is it possible to apply a month to the arrival of the visa in order to know if I can get the loan or not?
Yes, you can. You can. If you have a week to pay your tuition after you've arrived, is that the question?
No, after the visa is out.
After the visa is out. Have you paid the deposit? If the person has paid the deposits, apply here. We can look at it. Yes.
Okay. Another person is saying, I have admission in the UK for 2 schools, and I'm struggling to pay the tuition deposit and IHS plus visa fee. Do you support this?
If you can, I think if you don't have any means of paying for some of these things, right, take advantage of the campaign, right? The risk that we are also taking is that if you say that you want us to fund everything or you want us to give you loan for everything, right? What is your own stake in it, right? What is your we call it, for business owners, we call it equity contribution. If you don't have a stake in it, you have a skin in the game. It is if Dr. Ogenekaro and our other speaker were talking about the challenge that you face. I know people that because they need to pay or what's it called, pay their tuition and all of that, would do overnight jobs, do the most strenuous work just to ensure that they pay their tuition. Now, if we have paid everything for you. We have paid the IHS, we have paid your school fees, we have done deposit and everything. You get there and the code is too much. You just feel like this thing. Let me. I don't have to stress, right? So that's because you really don't have that skin. You have not done anything, right? So you also have to earn it, right? In terms of how do I call it now? You have to there has to be some personal sacrifice to some of this. If you don't see that, right, we will not. So you have to also contribute. So if you cannot raise money by yourself, right, use the campaign to get at least some of, and then we can then complement with the loan. But that will borrow you money to do everything. No, that's not going to work.
Thank you. Next question. How does the campaign work? Is the contribution from my family and friend part of the loan?
No, it's not. It's not. So whatever you raise through the campaign, right? Whatever you raise through the campaign is free. The only thing we'll just charge is the 2% origination fee for using the platform to raise money, right? And you don't have any obligation to pay us back. You only pay us when we borrow you money to go to school. But anybody that contributes towards your education via campaign and all of that, you don't get how do I say, you don't pay, you don't repay, right? On it, yes.
At what point will the loan be granted? Is it after collection of cash or visa?
Usually, for UK, usually after cards has been issued and you need to pay your enrollment fee here, or when you are already in the UK and then you need support, either to meet the because doctor mentioned something about our first speaker, his name, sorry, my apologies, your name keeps Femi, right?
Yes.
Mr. Femi, yeah. So Femi mentioned earlier that schools allow you to stagger your payments, right? They usually do a repayment plan. So some schools they pay monthly, some will say pay every quarter, right? So if you need support in that regard, you are there. Because of one situation or the other, you cannot meet up with that structure. And sometimes they will even ask you to, they will even say you cannot longer, I don't know what the word they use for asking you to leave. But in that situation, I am very certain that most, except you have borrowed money in the past and you've not paid. But you have not, and every other thing is fine. If you are in the UK already and you need that support, it's almost 100% certain that you will get the loan. For enrollment, we also support, right? But the deposit is very usually where we don't play, right? You must have at least paid your deposit. Yeah.
All right. The final one. I have paid my tuition deposit of £4,000, but I do not have the money for other expenses like visa, tuition, accommodation, flights. In fact, all other expenses. Am I eligible?
We will support you for a few of those items. We will not support you to pay your visa fees, right? IHS, we know that is refundable, so we'll support you with that. Any item that is any expense that is fundable, especially maybe your tuition deposit, enrollment fee, some of this IHS that is refundable, we can support with that. And in some extreme situation or in some circumstances, right, we also buy a flight ticket. We actually bought someone a flight ticket before. Like I said, it's not cast in stone. We'll look at your case, right? And then we'll look at the situation. We'll then apply. We'll tell you what is possible and what's not possible. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Temitope. For those asking how they can access the loan, please visit the website www.ejfund.com. This is going to be the end of the webinar today, and want to say a very special thank you to our speakers who had spoken so well today. We thank you so much for the opportunity that you've given to us. We hope that next time when we call you, you'll be available to us. And for our participants too, we hope that the next time we ask you to join our webinar, that you will be available. For other questions that you have, please, you can reach out to us on our social media accounts, on Instagram at EJ Fund, on Facebook, EJ Fund, on Twitter, it's also EJ Fund, and on LinkedIn, it is EJ. Thank you so much and have a good evening.